Now let us look at what you mean by treatment failure. Initially smear positive individual on whom you have started the anti-tuberculous therapy, and he remains smear positive even again at 5 months or later, where you expected him to become smear negative, but he continued in spite of 5 months of sincere treatment with full faith on you and the God. He has taken the treatment, but still he remained positive. Then he is a real treatment failure. It's also very important to define what is considered to be failure in the entrance. There is no failure in entrance, doctor. Probably you failed in AP means you are better for AIIMS entrance. If you failed in AIIMS means you are going to get in PGI. But that is not so with TB. What do you mean by transitional resistance? This is what the examiner asked you in the last entrance. A patient is on anti-tuberculous therapy. After about 2 months of treatment, which is the basic consolidation phase, you have done the smear AFB. It has become negative. But you have eagerly sent the culture, but it has remained positive. What is the cause for the culture positivity? Because it takes a longer time for the culture to become negative compared to that of the sputum. There's a reason a patient who is smear negative, but after 2 months you have done within 2 months only he has come back, he's a very VIP, and you thought, he asked you a question, doctor, why don't you do culture? It can tell me that I'm not happy that only AFB is negative, I want to be culture negative also. You have sent in, culture has become positive. Just because culture positive, don't change your treatment, because that is a false resistance, otherwise called the transitional resistance, is what need to be remembered. Typically it occurs because more time is required to eliminate the naturally occurring resistant mutant strains of the TB on culture. So the AFB has become negative, which is called a false resistance. Nothing need to be done. Continue the same regime of the anti-tuberculous therapy is the golden rule, which you should not forget. Now what are the various categories of the tuberculosis suggested by the WHO, doctor? Please remember, category 1 means new sputum positive pulmonary TB, or the new smear negative PTB with extensive parenchymal involvement. This is a common situation that you come across. Just because AFB is not there, but the apical shadow with the emaciated individual who is MAN2 positive should be sufficient enough a ground, though the AFB is negative, for you to start the ATT. So this is another important group called new smear negative pulmonary tuberculosis who have extensive parenchymal involvement. And what is category 2? All those treatment failures, relapses, return after the default, that is interrupted treatment, they all come under the category 2. Category 3 means the sputum negative pulmonary with limited parenchymal involvement are called category 3. Similarly, the extrapulmonary TB also is placed in the category 3. And the chronic cases of the TB are called category 4, is what it remembered. So treatment failure comes under the category 2. So this also doesn't stand. So what is the correct answer, doctor? Transitional resistance where AFB has become negative, but the culture remained positive because of those mutant strains is something that you should not basically forget. Now let's go to the next question. This is also a stock question. Cyclodevelopmental propagative and cyclopropagative. If you did not answer this, then you did not prepare well. That is the rule. So plague bacilli in rat flea is propagative. P for P you can easily remember. So how does the malaria spread, doctor? Malaria in the anopheline is basically cyclopropagative. Guinea worm in the cyclops is a classical example of a cyclodevelopmental, is what I want to underscore to all of you. So there is a reason, doctor, even the filaria in the mosquito also is an example of the cyclodevelopmental, is what I want to underscore. What is the minimum contact time for the chlorination? 1 hour. Then specific protection means what, doctor? Wearing goggles, wearing of seat belts by the drivers, vitamin A in children, prophylaxis, all these things. Pap smear is not an example of specific protection. Regarding DDT, what is true, doctor? It is it a repellent? It is not a repellent. So it is basically a contact poison. It will be permeating into the insect body through its cuticle and kills it by acting like a neurologist. Being neurotoxic is what need to be remembered. Now let us talk about the next question. Arboviral diseases, how they are transmitted. Another standard question. So all these lists, if you are very sure about in your tips, entrance is no more an enigma. Okay. So KFB basically transmitted by the ticks transstadially, not transovarially. Japanese encephalitis is by the Culex tritonio rhynchus and Vishnui. and dengue is by the Aedes is what need to be remembered. Let's go to the next question. Lichen planus, what is the false statement? Is it the subepidermal IgA or IgG, doctor? What is the correct possibility? Most commonly it is the IgG, but rarely it can be IgA also. So there is a reason it is it is not an absolute statement. Now can you tell me what happens in the lichen planus? Is it a self-limited condition? Definitely it regresses itself after about 18 months of time is what need to be remembered. Is hepatitis C is involved in the lichen planus? In hepatitis C positive individuals you can find those lichenoid lesions on their skin. Very classical situation. Can you tell me what is the histopathologic sign par excellence of the lichen planus? Civet bodies. Basically there are all those degenerative keratinocytes which will be forming the civety bodies is what need to be basically remembered. Now how do you like to describe the lichen planus, doctor? There is hyperkeratosis, irregular acanthosis with the focal thickening of the granular layer. Prognosis is generally good. Most cases will be regressing is what need to be remembered. And there will be band-like infiltrate of the lymphocytic cells in the upper dermis. So this is a classical lesion of the lichen planus is what need to be remembered. What is found in the mouth, doctor? You can find? Do you find Bickham striae? Good. So polygonal thyroidic papular lesions is equal to the lichen planus. You should never forget a classical history which is going to come in your tomorrow's exam. Polygonal shaped, papular, thyroidic lesions which are typically found is lichen planus. So can you tell me what are all the underlying conditions where lichen planus can be a cutaneous manifestation, doctor? Ulcerative colitis, vitiligo, dermatomyositis, morphia, lichen sclerosis, myasthenia gravis. Basically these are all autoimmune diseases, doctor. Even this phenomena involves even the skin also, hence lichen planus can be found. In chronic active hepatitis, hepatitis C and primary biliary cirrhosis also, lichen planus can be found is what need to be remembered. So that's how biopsy will show more of an IgG rather than IgA in the epidermal location is what need to be basically remembered. Let's go to the next question. Pityriasis versicolor, otherwise called tinea versicolor, caused by melasthesia furfur. You should not basically do a mistake on this. So selenium sulfide, azole and allylamine antifungals, they all have a role as effective topical agents against the tinea versicolor is what need to be remembered. So selenium sulfide need to be applied daily for about 2 weeks and ketoconazole 10 days 200 mg daily is considered to be the prescription. Let's go to the next question. Chancroids are caused by, at least some 5 questions have come on STD, doctor, only on these 5 organisms. LGV, syphilis, Haemophilus ducreyi, these 5 organisms you should not forget to revise. Examiner has no other option than to ask you a question on them. So chancroids is caused by Haemophilus ducreyi. How do you like to describe the ulcer of the chancroid, doctor? They are typically painful but non-indurated. They are multiple with the ragged edges what need to be basically remembered. What is this lesion, doctor? Multiple painful grouped lesions of the herpes genitalis is something that should not be forgotten. And typically there will be a crop of a vesicular lesion in the case of the herpes genitalis. And this is a condyloma acuminata where venereal warts can occur. Typically on the moist surface is the place where condyloma acuminata lesions will be occurring. Condyloma acuminata can also involve the tongue, the lips and the mucous membranes is what need to be remembered. And perianal lesions can occur, especially with the anal intercourse, condyloma acuminata can involve. And this is an example of the umbilicated dome-shaped lesions because of the poxvirus which leads to molluscum contagiosum is what need to be remembered. If you apply the pressure on this molluscum contagiosum lesion, there can be a cheese-like material which will be exuding out. So this is an example of a lymphogranuloma venereum. Can you see this sinus tract, doctor, which is found in the left groin? This kind of sinus formation is a very classical feature in the case of the lymphogranuloma venereum is what need to be remembered. Let's go to the next question. Donavari bodies, typically where do you see them, doctor? You find them in the granuloma inguinale. So everything about granuloma inguinale you basically need to know. How do you like to describe these lesions, doctor? Granuloma inguinale. Typically they are nodular. They consist of painless spreading exuberant ulcers is a very classical feature, and typically they have a friable base, a raised roll margin, beefy red in appearance. This is a very favorite question of the examiner. which ulcer has got a beefy red in appearance of the 5 lesions. It is the granuloma inguinale, need to be basically remembered. And the closely opposing surfaces where granuloma inguinale led to the ulceration, that leads to auto-inoculation, which is a very classical feature in the case of the granuloma inguinale. So this shows you those beefy red vulval lesions, and because it's auto-inoculation, they are called the kissing lesions because of the direct contact with the skin of the adjacent area. How about lymphadenopathy? Do you find it in granuloma inguinale is my question to all of you. It does not occur in the granuloma inguinale. So basically why this lymph node enlargement occurs is because the secondary bacterial infection. What you find as an inguinal swelling in a given case of the granuloma inguinale is basically a pseudobubo is what need to be remembered. Why it's called pseudobubo? Basically there is a subcutaneous granuloma which is caused by the granuloma inguinale, and it has caused the ulceration of that overlying skin, and it has protruded out and giving the appearance as such it is inguinal lymphadenopathy. There's a reason inguinal lymphadenopathy is not found in the case of the granuloma inguinale. What you find is very classically pseudobubos. So two ways examiner can ask you. All are the features of the granuloma inguinale except there is no lymphadenopathy. Where do you find pseudobubos can also be a question. Please remember it is found in the case of the granuloma inguinale. What is the other thing very important is if you use a Varti-Stari stain, then you find these Donovani bodies which are bipolar staining, safety pin appearing shaped intracytoplasmic inclusions that you see in the granuloma inguinale, which are called the Donovani bodies, is what need to be remembered. So these are these safety pin appearance of intracytoplasmic inclusions which are bipolar staining, which you find in the granuloma inguinale called the Donovani bodies. And this is the typical appearance if you do a Varti-Stari staining, which is typically used in the case of the granuloma inguinale. And this gives you the appearance of that pleomorphic bacillus, Chelimetobacterium granulomatis is the one which is responsible, is what need to be remembered. So these are those beefy red lesions which you see in the case of the granuloma inguinale is what I want to underscore to all of you. So one of these questions is going to come in your tomorrow's exam. Now you are all ready to answer this